Inspiration, the Power is Within podcast. I am broadcasting from upstairs tonight. We're not down in the studio because my tech man was late getting here. And my right hand man, Henry, my co host, he's not feeling too good. So he's in his room trying to recover from whatever he's got, a cold or something. So we're going from up here tonight. Tonight we're talking about the 16 commandments of Poon. Let me get this set up here so I can see in case anybody comes in the chat. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. And I just heard somebody crumbling downstairs. I asked them to be quiet, so we'll see how well that works. Here we are. Let me shut the sound down here. And this way I can see the chat. If any of you have any comments or questions, I will be glad to answer them. Although it takes up a little more time to show up here than it does on the phone, but I can't read them on the phone. So before we begin, hit that like button and subscribe. Check out my books on Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within. And I am writing a third book, but it seems like I only get to write on it when I travel, and I haven't traveled for about 2 months now. I'm thinking about going to Colombia or somewhere, maybe Poland. I don't know, but I don't know if I want to spend the money. But the money will return, but the time doesn't. You need to remember that. None of us are going to live forever. So let's get started here. Well, I can't do the Poon and then look at the chat too. Maybe I can figure something out. I'll just go back and forth. How about that? So let's go. All right. I'm not going to read these verbatim because I'm not sure what the copyright deal is on it. One time I got a copyright strike quite some time ago, to my surprise. So the first one, the commandments of Poon is never say I love you first. Yeah, I know you think, why does it matter? So many of us guys want to express how we feel for this girl, thinking that if we do that, she'll know how much we care about her and that will mean something to her. When exactly the opposite is true, it actually turns her off. Now, maybe that doesn't make logical sense to you as a man, excuse me, but what you have to remember is that men and women think differently. You think differently. You're logically thinking that it will make a difference, it will impress her, and she will like you more. But it does the opposite effect. It actually turns her off and makes her feel like maybe you're a little needy or you're not too masculine. Now, many women might disagree with that, or they say that they would like their man to do that, but how many times have women, if you've been in any relationships, you know how a woman will pester you to get you to do something, and then finally you do it thinking that she's going to appreciate you more, and you find out she actually disrespects you less. I may lose my voice too because I breathed some dust on the job the other day and it's kind of messing with me, so bear with me. Many things that women are attracted to are counterintuitive. They don't seem to make sense to us, but wait until she tells you that she loves you. Then you can say, I love you too, or me too. That's when I used to use on my ex-girlfriend and it pissed her off. But don't be so quick to be expressing all your feelings and laying your heart out open on the table for her. Contrary to what there's a new movement out there now about you need to be vulnerable, need to be open. Vulnerable means to be susceptible to attack. It really means like being weak. It's not a strength. Vulnerability is not a strength. Women are not impressed by it, nor are they attracted by it. They may tell you they are, but they're not. It turns them off. All right, now, I'm not hardcore red pill. Some of you know what that is. And there's a lot of good truths in the red pill, but just like a religion, some people take it to the far extreme and say all girls are 304s and they're all cheating on you and they're all gonna cheat on you. There's a lot of good women out there. Now, I don't believe, well, and there again, that's relative to what you believe a good woman is. Everyone has their idea of what a good woman is. But I'm talking about women who will be faithful and loyal to you, who will cook for you and clean for you. Oh my God, I can hear the misogynistic comments coming already. There's nothing wrong with you as a man wanting a woman who will cook, clean, and take care of your kids for you. Now, you need to be the kind of man that can take care of her and the kids financially and protect them and provide for them. That's your part of the deal. You have your place as a man, she has her place as a woman. I mean, look how the feminist movement has pushed the polarity of men and women. It's like women are being raised to be men, and they're not men. And men are actually becoming feminine, and that doesn't work out too well either. Our society will eventually crumble if we continue to go in this direction. So, the beginning is never say, I love you first. If it's your mama, tell your mama you love her first. That's okay. She doesn't even have to say it back. And also in a relationship, you want to watch this unconditional love deal. I've said this before, but the only person who's going to love you unconditionally is your mama, if you are fortunate enough to have a loving mother. So that's something you need to remember. All right, the next one, let me see. All right. And he goes on to make a few more comments about that. Let's move this slowly here. Make her jealous. That's number 11. Let's back up. I don't know how I got that from. What is that? Oh, number 2. It's in Roman numerals. Make her jealous. Now, that's something I didn't understand either. It goes on to say, flirt with other women in front of her. Do not dissuade other women from flirting with you. Women will never admit this, but they like that. Now, they're going to get mad at you. They're going to get angry. But that lets them know that other women want you and that you could have other women if you wanted them. Nothing bores a woman more to know that you can't have another woman or that no other woman wants you, because women want a man that all the other women want. Now, we always been told that we have to give them security and stability, and I'm telling you, security and stability equals boredom. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have a steady job and have a good income. I'm not talking about that. But she needs to know that you could walk out that door if she didn't treat you right. And vice versa, actually. She needs to be able to, you need to think that maybe she could walk away too, because that keeps that fire going. You never want to get too secure in a relationship, because then there again it comes up to boring. And nobody wants to be bored. And women especially like drama. If you see them on the dating site saying no drama, you can guarantee your ass they've had a lot of drama in their life. And if you become part of their life or allow them to, I reverse that, if you allow them to become part of your life, you're going to have a lot of drama too. Never step into a woman's frame, but allow her to step into your frame if she wants to. And if she doesn't want to, you can't force her. All right, let me see. Number 3. Always make your mission, your purpose, your goals first. As I said, I'm not reading these verbatim. Your vision, whatever you have for you, if you don't have a vision, you better get one. That should be the first thing in your life. That is your priority. And that's what women want you to do. No woman wants you to pedestalize her or to make her your first priority. She wants a man who's going somewhere, who's doing something with his life. She wants to follow you. She wants to be part of your adventure. She does not want to be the adventure. I mean, society and our TV and media tells us that you find a woman and she's going to be your partner for life and you guys are going to conquer the world together. Well, you may conquer the world and she may support you, but you're not going to conquer the world together. Contrary to what the TV shows us in movies, I was watching something the other night, the Lord of the Rings series or whatever it's called on Amazon. It's like they got the men supplicating to the women. The women are the heroes, the men are getting killed by the monster, and the woman comes in there and she kills the monster. It's like, no, that's not, of course, movies are fantasy, of course. But that's what a lot of these programs are showing, and we have children growing up with that, and thus we have men supplicating to women, and the women saying, where's all the real men at? Because they can't find a masculine man. Well, but they're acting so masculine, they're not in their feminine, so it's really screwing up society. A lot of young men are opting out of relationships, of having kids, being married, or anything. And I don't blame them, at least here in the U.S. I got 5 boys, and I don't know what they're going to do with them when I have children. The divorce laws and the courts are so biased against men, and a 50% divorce rate, and 1 in 4 marriages are sexless. The man's the guy not getting the sex, so it's not looking too good. Our modern society is definitely not moving in the right direction. All right, so always keep your mission first and foremost, and that's what keeps her attracted to you. I mean, what were you doing before you met her? What were you doing before you met her? Keep doing that. She was attracted to you for something when you two met. Keep doing that. This is what happens with a lot of us men. It's happened to me more than once, I'm ashamed to say. You get with a woman and you have kids, if you have kids, or even a boyfriend, girlfriend, you become complacent. You quit taking her out. She comes over to your house. You guys do the deal. You watch TV, do whatever, and you don't do anything anymore. You're not out there hanging out with your buddies. You're not out there trying to pursue your goal, whether it's football, basketball, boxing, business, whatever it happens to be. And you just become a normal guy, not the guy she fell in love with. You always have to keep maybe you shoot pool, maybe you play darts, maybe you're in an Xbox, whatever it is. You've got to have something that is I want to say focal, your main focus, your main point, your purpose in life, something that is more important than she is. For me, God first, my mission, my purpose second, my family here first or third, and then women are fourth after that. I still have kids I have to raise. So now I'll go out with a woman, and I'm not going to let my family come in between a woman and myself if it's the choices I make, but I'll put my family and my business and my God before I'll put a woman. Now, if I have a family with her, then that's different. Then she becomes my family, then she is grouped in with everything else I have here. Then they're all number 3. But a man has to keep focused on his goal and his dreams to be a man, to be alive. So it's very important to remember that. And as I said, if you don't have a mission or purpose, you better get one. Have something, have some goals in life. Men need goals. Let me see. And that was number 3. Don't play by her rules. Number 3, that goes in, was that number 4? That's number 4. Basically, that's you stepping into her frame. That's doing what she wants to do all the time, letting her run the show. You don't know how many clients, they go to their house, I'll be looking at a job, giving them the price. Well, and the man says, I'll just have to go ask the boss. Everything is go ask the boss. He's referring his authority to the woman. Now, if he said, I'd like to speak to my wife about it and see what she thinks, that's a whole different thing. But they actually straight up tell me, I better go ask the boss. And guess who's running the household? The woman. She usually comes out, she's got short hair, she's not in good shape, she doesn't take care of herself anymore, she doesn't wear makeup, and she's the boss. Because she's had to take on the masculine role because the man quit doing it sometime a long time ago. That's very common with men. Men do that a lot. And then they're in unhappy, sexless, unfulfilled marriages. And who's at fault? Not the woman, the man. You men, including myself, need to take full responsibility. As some of you know, I've been married 4 times. Now, I had a lot of successful years in there, but I am the one who failed those marriages. I could tell you all the terrible, mean things the women did. They cheated, they did this, they did that. But I allowed it to get to that point because I was not leading. And that's what's happened. You've got to be a leader. But we become complacent. To guard against that, you just have to always keep focused on your goals and your mission. Don't focus on the woman. And always be strong enough, independent enough that if she wants to go, even if she has your kids, you can let her walk out that door. That's what happened to my last marriage. We had 6 kids together, and she knew I wasn't willing to walk away from my kids, or at least she thought she knew. But eventually I had to do that because she was using those kids. But it started, that started with disrespect a long time ago that I quit leading, and it finally got to that point. King Dre talks about the 10 levels of disrespect. If your woman is insulting you in front of people out in public, that started a long time ago. If she's hitting on you, that started a long time ago. You got to check bad behavior right away, because if you don't, it gets out of hand. And even those situations can end up with a woman with a man getting into a fight and them seriously hurting each other or actually killing each other. It's happened before. So, but that's up to you as the man to keep that from getting to that point. You must check disrespect immediately. So if you allow a woman to make the rules, she will resent you. There you go. If you allow her to run the show, she will resent you. You remember I said earlier about how they try to talk you into something? For example, let's say you get together with your woman, and every Friday night you go out with the boys and you play cards. So you've been together 3 or 4 months, and she says, honey, can you just stay home tonight? I really feel kind of lonely. Do you have to go out with the boys every Friday night? And you think, logically this makes sense, right? She knows how important that is to me to go out with the boys. So I'll stay home with her, and she is really going to appreciate me. She's going to see how much I care about her, and she's going to reciprocate with more love. But what happens? No, she becomes resentful at you. The opposite is true, because you gave up something that was very, very important to you. You were willing to back down on something that's important to you just to satisfy her. So if you can be that easily manipulated by her, then you're not considered to be a strong man. Now, I know to us men it doesn't make sense, but that's just the way it is. You don't think like a woman, nor do I. Women think on a whole different level. It's more of a survival level that they've learned through eons of evolution. So never play by her rules. Okay. Adhere to the golden ratio. For every 2/3 your woman does for you, do 1/3 for her. And now here's another mistake I made. When a woman does something nice for me, or I'm really pleased with her, I'm really happy with her, I go overboard and I want to do things for her. For example, maybe she wanted to go somewhere on a trip. She's really been treating me good. I'll take her on a trip. Or I'll buy her that dress she's been looking at, or a pair of shoes. And it's usually more than what she's done for me. That doesn't work with the crap either. Because it's over, even though you're not doing it, because you've already got it, right? You've got your woman. You don't have to buy her anything or bribe her or do anything like that. But you want to show your appreciation, okay? That's why you're doing it. In your mind, you're showing your appreciation. But in her mind, you're seeking her approval. You're supplicating to her. That's the way she sees it. Now, that's not the way it is, but that's the way she feels like it is. And if she feels like it is, then that's her truth to her. Remember that. For every 2/3 she does for you, you do 1/3 for her. I know this all sounds like manipulation and conniving and the such like that, but it's just the way things work. I've experienced this in real life. I've had many successful one-night stands, many successful short-term and long-term relationships, many years of happy marriage. Now, they ended, but many years of them were good and happy and strong. Okay, so I've learned from all that, and I've also learned from helping many other men throughout the years, and what I've learned from other people on YouTube. I learned some of this new social media stuff because I knew nothing about that. But what it did for me and could do for you on YouTube, at least I've had a lot of experience, it explained to me why a lot of the things I did before I was 30 worked well with women. But then afterwards, when I started to do what society told me to do, it didn't work with the shit. Before I was 30 years old, I've said this before, but at one time I had a wife, I had 2 steady girlfriends, and I had a lot of other girls I was sleeping with. I had girls chasing me everywhere. I always had the hottest women, okay? But I was never faithful to any of them. I took care of them. If they were with me, they were protected. And when I was with them, I was with them. I satisfied them sexually. They felt safe with me. I provided for them whatever they needed. But I wasn't faithful. They always knew that they never really had me. Now, I was very dishonest when I was young with women. In business, I was pretty damn straight. I was straight with my clients and other men. But when it come to women, that's the way I treated them. And that worked well. I did that till I was about 30, and I told this story before, but for you guys who haven't heard it, but then I kind of hit a bottom there, and I looked back at my life and said, man, you've been pretty selfish, and you haven't treated women very well. And so everything I did with women that worked so well, I just pitched it all out. And I adapted this new social narrative, or what our mamas tell us, that you need to treat women well, and I'm not saying to treat women badly. You need to be stable, reliable, honest, trustworthy, all these things. And I tell you, I tried that. I was married 3 times, and every one of those women cheated on me. And even the last girl I dated, I can't prove she cheated on me, but she probably did. I'd bet on it. Usually if you think they cheated, they cheated. But I know the first 3 did, or the last 3 did. So, or at least 2 of them. I think they admitted it. But, so anyway, the point is they did not respect me because I was always there. I was, like I said, I had one tell me, you're a good father and a good husband, but I just can't live this kind of life. And she went off with the guy who just got out of jail with the ankle bracelet on that was dealing meth, okay? I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell? I'm doing everything right, I thought. But what I wasn't doing was doing all the things that worked in my younger years that don't make any sense, or that didn't make any sense, but it worked. But I started this out with telling you what I learned on YouTube, but I read a book by Rollo Tomasi. Some people don't think it's a good book, but I liked it because what it did was explain to me, it helped me to understand why what I did before I was 30 worked so well with women, and what I was doing from the age of 30 to about 55, or no, actually probably 52, wasn't working. It made sense. Before I didn't understand that, because here I am, I had 3 women leave me, 3 of my wives left me, had kids with 3 of them, and I'm like, I'm going to work, I'm not cheating on them, I didn't run around on any of them, I was home every night, I didn't drink, didn't smoke, I was the guy that I thought, it's like Clark Kent, right, except no Superman, that the women wanted to be with. Well, I was told that's what women wanted. But yet, I was getting shit on, cheated on, and they just didn't like me. I mean, and then the last one I was married to, she told me, I guess after we'd been divorced 10 years, she said, you're just too good to us. Because we're able to talk now. It wasn't a very amicable breakup, but I gave her many chances. I went to counseling. I did everything to make that marriage work, and it didn't work. I ended up with the kids. She ended up out in another country, and she hadn't been back for 12 years. But I talked to her just a couple years ago. We've been divorced about 12 years. And she said, you're just too good to us. And until she went out, and now she found out how it is out there, it's hard to find a man like me. And there are other men out there like me that take care of their women, treat them well. And but she didn't know how good she had it till she lost me. And every woman that I've left that's been disrespectful to me, I was able to be with them again afterwards. I was able to sleep with them again afterwards. Could have had them back, but I didn't want them back. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because that can be for you too. So many of you guys want your ex-girlfriend back, but I'm telling you what, if you get her back and you don't change, she's going to ditch you and you're going to go through the same pain again. But if you use that breaking up with her as an opportunity to grow inside, when you have the opportunity to have her back, you're not going to want her because you've changed, and unless she's done some inner work, and most women don't, she's the same woman. So you're not going to want to be with her. The last girl that I dated, I broke up, I walked away from her. 6 months, 8 months later, she contacted me. I wasn't going to talk to her ever again. And then probably a couple of years later, we went out. She's from another country, so we met a couple times. I had a great time with her, and I could tell she wanted to get back together with me, but I don't want to get back together with her. For one thing, she's been with other men since we broke up, and for some reason, it bothers me. I don't like that. I don't care who she was with before I met her, but afterwards, she should have appreciated me. And she did say the last time we was together that she didn't value me when we were together. Sure, I know she didn't. I tried to tell her, but that doesn't work. You can't tell a woman what's going to happen. They're not going to listen to you. Now, even in that relationship, I have to take some responsibility. I became too, how would I say, I wasn't needy, but she became too important to me. They don't want to be that important. She told me one time she felt like she was smothered. And I said, how can you feel like you're smothered? You're down here in Colombia and I'm up here in the States. What do you mean? We just talk by text and I see you once a month. But I understand what she meant now. But she, there's nothing wrong with her. She's young, she wants to party and want to have a good time. But I just wasn't up for a girl that wanted to be out running around with her friends all the time, partying all night. That just doesn't work well for me. So we each had a different idea of what a relationship should be like. But I'm sure now, well, she said she didn't value me enough because I took care of her very well. And I do that. Now, I don't take care of a girl unless she's taking care of me. And I mean in all ways, physically, emotionally. A man wants to know that his woman puts him above everything else. And that last relationship, I was like, let me see what was first. Her friends, her parties, her family, and what else was it? Anyway, I was like 3 or 4 down the list. I never had that shit. I don't tolerate that shit, and that's just not me. Oh yeah, let's not forget social media. That was above me too. Or I felt like it was. Nah, hell, I know it was, because we discussed it. Actually, I broke up with her once about that shit. But I was watching, I think Fresh and Fit the other night or somewhere. Yeah, I think that was it. Well, maybe not, but a study. Most women, girls nowadays, would give up their boyfriend before they gave up social media. I mean, what the hell is that, huh? Think about that. I mean, I am not, if you don't value me any more than that, then you need to go find somebody that wants to be your simp, because that's not me. I don't go for that crap. And nor should you. I mean, if she wants to keep her social media and she just posts regular pictures on there and she's not talking to other guys, that's fine. Or maybe she talks to her family. There's nothing wrong with that. But if she's on there posting provocative photos and guys are sending her messages and she's responding to them either by words or by smiley faces with hearts or all that bullshit. I don't use emojis. I suggest you don't either as a man. You don't need to be expressing your feelings by emojis. If you got something to say it. Don't use emojis. That's just me. Do what you want. I stopped using them. Okay. Moving on here. What was that? Adhere to the golden rule. Remember, she doesn't want you to do more for her than she does for you. Always keep your giving in a deficit. All right. Where are we at? Number 6. Keep her guessing. Now that's something else. See, when you're going out together, I wish I had my camera a little higher here. When you're going out together, she doesn't know where you are. That's another thing, the mistake I made was they always knew where I was. I thought I needed to tell them. I thought they needed to know exactly when I was going to be home, when I was getting up, where I was going, what I was doing all the time. Excuse me. I felt a responsibility to them for that. Because I'm their husband, they need to know that I'm somewhere, that I'm okay, and that everything's fine. They don't want to know that. Excuse me. They want to wonder. They want to wonder about you like they did when you guys were going out. She didn't know where you were all the time. She was waiting for the phone call or the text message. And that's something else you guys got to stop doing. Stop all this. I could cuss, but I'm not going to. Stop all this text messaging. It's too much. I made that mistake when I dated this last girl, started out 4 years ago. I was completely ignorant about social media messaging or anything. So I'm one of these guys that's answering the message as soon as she sends it. Because I'm self-employed and I could do it, I didn't know there was anything wrong with it. I was too available. You cannot be so available for your woman. She doesn't want you to be available. She wants to wonder where you are. She wants to wonder what you're doing. And that's just the way it is. Now, most women are going to deny this. They're going to say they don't like that. It makes me feel secure if I know where you are and what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. But that's not really what they want. Never, never listen to what a woman says she wants or what makes her feel good. Watch what she reacts to favorably. Those are two different things completely. Okay, you've got to keep her guessing. True to their inscrutable natures, women ask questions they really don't want direct answers to. Now that's something else. Looks like I got the sun coming in here. Gonna blap me out. I might have to shut the curtain. Let me do that right now. Hang in there. Let me shut that curtain. Is that better? Yeah, okay. Now, as I said, in my younger years, before I was 30, I lied to women all the time. It was just a way of life for me. I was extremely dishonest. I wouldn't say I was a compulsive liar, but I would lie in a minute to get myself out of a jam, or if she thought I was. I'll tell you a little story. Story time. One time, my first wife was a good woman. She really was. I was not a good husband for her because I did lie and I cheated on her all the time. Now, if you're in a monogamous relationship and that's the understanding between you two, you don't need to be out cheating. All right, but if you've never told her that you're going to be monogamous, then that's a different story altogether. But you don't need to be lying. But I say I would lie in a minute. So one night she comes home from work. She went to school and she came home from work. I had a girl in the house. I couldn't get her out. She came home unexpectedly. So I had to hide her in the house. And I talked my wife into going back and getting me a candy bar or some shit just so I'd have time to get her out of the house. Now, that's the kind of shit I did, all right? I mean, it sounds kind of funny now, but it's really kind of underhanded crap. And my idea was, well, if she doesn't know, it's not going to hurt her. Well, that's true to a certain degree, but do you know who it hurt? It hurt me, because she deserved to be treated better than that. Now, let's say she was my girlfriend and we were just dating, but there was no agreement of monogamy, and she just happened to come by my house and I had a girl there. I didn't want her to know she was there, so I could ask her to go downtown and get me something so we could spend some time together. Then I would have the other girl leave, and then she could come over there and then we could spend time together. She would never know the other girl was there. Nothing wrong with that, because you have no agreement of monogamy, and she doesn't want to know somebody else is there anyway. So some people may look at that and think that's sneaky or underhanded, but it's not. If there's no previous agreement, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't know what she's doing when she's not around if you have no agreement about monogamy. So she has the same rights and abilities to do the same thing. It just depends on what you guys have agreed to previously. And as a man, if you've agreed to do something, if at all possible, you need to keep your word. Because a man is only as good as his word. I heard King Dre talking about that the other day. Shout out to King Dre. You need to listen to him. He's got some really good, solid stuff. Alpha Kingdom, too. There's another one. Alpha Villains. Check those guys out on YouTube. I listen to them quite often, and they got some solid stuff. And a lot of these things, you guys, if you haven't dated many women, you may think they sound crazy because they go against the narrative, what the movies and Disney and all these people put out, and what the feminine women, I would say the feminist women put out, too. But it's what works. It's what women really want. Now, some of the red pill PUA guys are really overboard. The pump 'em and dump 'em type guys. I'm not into that. All women aren't bad, and all men aren't bad. We got good men, we got bad men. We got good women, we got bad women. And we have women that want to be like men, and that's fine. I just wouldn't recommend dating one if you're a masculine man. I don't think it's a wise idea. I don't think you should have children with anyone like that, but you know, it's a free country. Do what you want to. Just from my experience and the experience that I've seen other men go through, you want a feminine woman who's going to submit to your leadership. Oh, now there's a word that just pisses people off. Submit. Now, isn't that odd? Because a woman will go to work. She'll go to work for a man, and she's making a profit for him. She'll do whatever he wants. I mean, within reason, of course, to get her job done and to get a paycheck. But that same woman, if she wasn't working and she stayed home and worked in the home for the husband, to take care of the home, to give him comfort, to take care of the kids and manage the household, she would be considered a slave. But yet this man loves her and wants to take care of her for the rest of her life. And the boss, he just wants to make money off of her. She's just an employee. He doesn't care whether she stays or goes, only in direct correlation to how much money she makes him. But yet, women throw a fit about that. Oh, you want a slave. God, where do you come from? You're misogynist. No, what is misogyny? What is a misogynist? It's someone who hates women, who's prejudiced against women. I'm not prejudiced against women, nor do I hate women. If I hated women, Would I have been with all the women I've been with in my life? Would I would have been married 4 times? After the first marriage or the second one, I would have said, hell with that, I hate these women. I would have been like, maybe it's the black pill community, or I'm not sure what they call them, where they've just, no, or is it MGTOW, where men going their own way. They're just done with women, they're fed up with them. I'm not fed up with them. I don't think I would marry again. But I wouldn't mind to meet a nice woman out of the country and have another kid or two. I got a lot of kids. I love kids. My kids say I'm a good father. And actually, my wife said I was a good husband. So, yeah, go figure. Too damn good. Like I said, the last one said I was too good. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. I'm not saying I was. But actually, I'm not as good as they said I was, because if I would have been better, they would have still been with me, because I wouldn't have been so compliant. And that goes back to one of the laws of Poon, is being too compliant with your wife. A lot of times what I would do, and I want you to learn from my mistakes, and a lot of guys do this crap too. She wants to go out for dinner. Okay, you don't know where you want to go. So you say, I don't care, honey, wherever you want to go. Mistake. You pick a spot. I don't care if you even want to go there. Just think of something, because she wants you to lead. Now, when you do that, when you pick a spot, she may resist. She may argue and say she doesn't want to go there. But go there anyway. She will respect you more for that than if you say, well, I don't care, honey, wherever you want to go. But we as men, what we do sometimes is we don't want to argue. We've been working our ass off all day. It's like, I don't give a shit where we go. She wants to go out for dinner. You really just want to stay home. But she wants to go out, just keep her happy. Happy wife, happy life. No, that's bullshit too. You're going to keep her happier. You need to take her out, of course, by going where you want to go. You pick the place. You take the lead. You pick the table. You pick the seat. You lead the way. She does not want to make decisions. She only wants to make decisions if she doesn't have to be responsible and accountable for them. She has plenty of decisions to make during the day by herself at home or with the kids that you can't help her with. When you get home, when you guys go out, she wants you to lead. So be a man and lead the relationship. Hey, what's up? I'm upstairs tonight, Thor. Thanks for joining in here. My tech man didn't get back till 6, so I just went and started by myself here. I like that Thor did he did a skit on the 16 Rules of Poon. I would suggest you go watch it. I think it's Blue Pill Thor, but he's RP Thor. So look him up on YouTube, RP Thor. And he did a skit on the 16 Commandments of Poon, and what is it called? I can't remember what it's called, but you can find it on his channel, and it's hilarious. It's great. You got to watch it. He does them in an opposite way. I'm laughing thinking about it. So that was great. Thanks for joining me, Thor. All right. Keep her guessing. Always keep her guessing. I used to discourage women from flirting with me, and they like that crap. I remember my last wife, we'd be out somewhere, and she'd get pissed because girls were looking at me. And I would even, I don't know, I'd just act like, oh, no, I wouldn't flirt around. I wouldn't. You don't need to be telling her how faithful you are and all this bullcrap. Let her wonder about you. Doesn't mean you have to go out and cheat on her. Just let her wonder if one of these girls might get a hold of you, because that's what she wants. They like that. I know it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but it's true. All right. Always keep 2 in the kitty. Never allow yourself to be a kept man. A man with options is a man without need. Now, there's a lot of truth in that. You should always know. Well, let me back it up. Here's what more than one of my wives would ask me. When I was doing what I was supposed to do, she would say, well, if something happened to me or if I died, you wouldn't even care. I'd say, honey, I would care and it would be tough, but I'd be fine. We'd just go out and marry somebody else or find another woman. I said, yeah, I would. Now, and that's what she wants to hear from you. She doesn't want you to say something like, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know if I'd make it. What if you guys have kids together? What if you do have kids? And do you think she wants to wonder that if something does happen to her, God forbid, that you're not going to be able to go on and take care of the kids? No, she wants to know that you're going to be able to handle things if she dies and passes on. But what a lot of you guys might think is, well, you say something like this, she'd like it better. Well, yeah, honey, if you died, I don't know what I'd do. You're my other half, and I just don't know how I could live without you. Hey, you want to put the clock ticking at the end of your relationship, say some shit like that to her. I guarantee you that'll make the countdown start. She wants to know that you're going to make it, with or without her, contrary to what she acts like if you answer such a question like I did. Sure, I'll be okay. And you need to be okay. You need to know that. Not just say it. You need to know that if something happened to her, or if she walked out that door, if she cheated on you, or if she left you with the kids, that you're going to be okay. And you should be in such a position financially that if she did decide to leave, and there's a problem right there in the U.S., if she decided to leave and take you to court and take half your shit, you should be set up so that is not going to devastate you or sway your decision or make you beg or be needy for her. You should have the strength to walk away from your kids if need be. I've done it. It doesn't kill you. I've done it more than once. I've had to do it more than once. And guess what? I got all my kids back, except for one. I have an older daughter. It just didn't work out. I had her until she was 6. I had to walk away. They were going to throw me in jail for false accusations. And when I came back, my daughter did come and apologize to me because she believed everything her mother told her. And she found out the truth that I wasn't doing these things, that her mother had lied. But our relationship isn't too good today. She is very much into the pronouns and the woke, and I think it's the woke culture and all that type of stuff. And she knows I'm not. We've never had words about it, but she knows I'm not into that. So I think that's why she stays away from me. I can only guess because we met a couple times and we got along fine. There's no hard feelings, but that's just life. I do have 6 kids here that I take care of, and so she'll come around one day. I'm her father, and she doesn't remember that we were really, really close till she was about 6 or 7. And she probably feels abandoned by me. I mean, even though I had to leave, to her, it still was abandonment. So she's probably got a lot of issues she needs to deal with. So sometimes life hands us a shit sandwich, and we just got to eat it and get up and get your ass going again. That's the way it is. But it all works out for the best. Got to trust. Trust God. Clean house, help others. That's what I'm trying to do here today, is help you. I'm not a religious guy. I always say that because I don't want you. I'm not here to put religion down on anybody. I just believe in I believe in something that's bigger than me, and it helps me when the shit hits the fan and I don't know what to do. I trust that. And it's worked well for me so far. All right. Yeah, if you got somebody, or if you know, take care of yourself. Stay in shape. Don't get in such bad shape that you think that, that nobody's going to want you if you break up, or that she's your only, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I got a couple people in there. Mike Hillett. Well, thanks for the compliment. Whoever said great show. I'm not quite sure how to say your name, but glad you could join me. Where were we? Back to the Poon rules here. Let me see. Wrong one. Is this it? This is it. Okay. Got these Roman numerals. 8. Say you're sorry only when absolutely necessary. Now, I'm not much for saying you're sorry. I think saying you're wrong is better. I was a sorry son of a bitch for many years. Sorry to me is kind of like a manipulating thing. I mean, it's okay once in a while, but as a man, if I make a mistake, I'm going to say I'm wrong. And that's the end of the shit. It ain't going to be brought up again. If it is, I'm not paying attention to it. I was wrong. What can I do to make it right? It's simple as that. A leader, a man, is not a person who doesn't make mistakes. He's a person who makes mistakes because he's out there doing something. You want to double your success? Double your failures. Double your success, double your failures. If you ain't failing, you ain't trying. The road to success is paved with failure. I know many people look at me and they think, God dang, Mark, you had 4 failed marriages. Oh, really? So you're telling me that a successful marriage is one that stays together until they pass on. And how many guys are in those types of marriages and they're not getting any sex? They haven't got sex for 5, 6, 10 years. And they're miserable. Is that a successful marriage? Now, there are successful marriages out there, I'm sure, not that I know any personally, where the man and wife are happy, and I guess, but like my mama always said, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. But there's got to be successful marriages. But how do you rate success? I had many years of successful marriage, and then it ended. Now, because it ended, does that mean it's a failure? I've learned so much from that, and that's why I'm here and I can help you today. And if you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com. I got consulting sessions half off in the month of September. I'd be glad to help you out. I help a lot of people all the time, so I enjoy doing that. All right, but back to I'm sorry. Yeah, because a lot of times a woman will use that on you later on. If you make a mistake, she'll remember something from 20 years ago, and you wonder why she's bringing it up. But don't pay any attention to it. You make a mistake, you're wrong. If you can make it right, do that, and then go on. You don't need to be apologizing all the time. Number 9, connect with her, excuse me, connect with her emotions. Now, women are emotional creatures, men are more logical. And if you're too much in your emotions, and I've been there too, you're too much into your feminine. And that's what society tries to tell men today. I was listening to a guy when I was doing the Dragon Ship podcast today. Thor had a clip of a man, and he was talking about where he actually felt bad for being a man. Our society kind of tells young men that it's wrong to be masculine. There's something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If it wasn't for masculinity, we wouldn't live in this great nation. Men wouldn't have came over here and killed all the Indians. I mean, there's the goddamn truth right there. Huh? This was not a undiscovered land. I think there was like 10 million Indians living here. And we came over basically and slaughtered them, all right? I mean, that's the damn truth. Now, because of that, we conquered this nation. Because of that, men and women have luxuries that men and women have dreamed about for thousands of years. We live in one of the best times there ever has been. And if you don't realize that and you live in America, you ain't seeing things how they really are. You need to go live in a third world country for about 6 months. I did it for 6 years. And then when you get here, come back here, you realize what a cushy life this is. You have no idea what it's like out there in the real world. It's extremely dangerous. And I think the world is beautiful and loving. But I recognize the reality that there's a lot of dangerous people out there who will rob you, steal, kill, whatever. Rape your wife, beat your wife up. Yeah, that's what goes on out there. And there's a difference between experiencing that and watching it on the news. You see the Feed the Hungry commercials? Yeah, well, go out there and see all those kids. They're out there, real life. Whole different ball game than seeing them on TV or on a food commercial. So, you have to connect with her emotions. So set yourself apart from other men and connect with a woman's emotional landscape. Her mind is an alien world that requires deft navigation to reach your rendezvous. Frolic in the surf of emotions rather than the desert of logic. Women, you try and explain something to a woman logically, it's like beating your head against the wall and expecting yourself to feel good afterwards. It just doesn't work. Now, that's not to say that women can't think logically, but they don't. Let me give you an example. And some of you guys, if you've been married or been in a long-term relationship, will understand. You come home from work, you're tired, and your wife says, honey, we just never go out anymore. Ah, so you're the man, you think this. What the hell are you talking about? We just went out last Friday, the Friday before that, the Wednesday before that, and the Tuesday before that. So you're thinking, actually, we went out every week, and now she's telling me that we don't go out anymore? She's not thinking logical. Emotionally, she feels like you guys don't go out anymore. So there's something deeper there. But she's using that. So you could argue with her all day, and actually you could have it on the calendar. Look, we went out this time, this time, this time. It's not going to do anything. The best thing you can say is, oh, really, I understand. How come you feel that way? Just find out what she's really feeling or what she's really talking about. Because your logical argument is not going to do anything except piss her off and close her down. So remember that. Women don't deal in logic like you and I do. And how do I know this? Because I've had many logical arguments with women. If I back up to the girl that I was going out with a few years ago, I told her that if she continued to disrespect me, I was going to leave her. And I was very good to this girl, as I am all my women. So that's why I don't know why people call me a misogynist or like a Neanderthal or a 13th century man. Because I take better care of my women than Probably those guys. I'm sure I do. I know. My woman wants for nothing when well, let's say wants for nothing. They always want for something. My woman doesn't need anything when she's with me. I take very good care of her because I appreciate her and I love her, and that's my way of showing it. I lost my train of thought. They're calling me a misogynist. So, but they'll still call you that if you don't adhere to their agenda, what they believe things ought to be. Okay, but it's connecting with her emotions. And I was backing up to that. Okay, so I told her I was going to leave her. It doesn't matter. If you're with a woman and she's disrespecting you, it doesn't matter. And if you mean it, and I did, if you tell them I'm going to leave you if you don't quit disrespecting me, it doesn't mean anything because you're not taking any action. The best thing you can do if they disrespect you is do what they call what's it called? A soft next. Withdraw your attention. They will understand that as, okay, I disrespect him and now he's gone emotionally or whatever. I'm not talking about the silent treatment where you're being a dick to her. I'm just talking about backing off. Now, if you're married and you live with a girl, you can just do your shit. Start going to the gym more. Be busy all the time. If you don't have time to talk to her. Now, of course, you have to answer daily questions. You do that, not rudely or shitty, just business-like. She'll get the picture. What she'll realize is she disrespected you. She'll connect that to you withdrawing, and you don't have to leave. This is how you check disrespect. You may call it out. You may say, look, I don't appreciate it when you disrespect me like that. She may want to argue with you. You're the man. Your word is law. You say it, and that's it. You don't argue about it. You just say that, turn away, and then go find something to do. You have to have respect. If she does not respect you, she can't love you. If she respects you, she trusts you to be there for her when the shit of her emotional life, her emotional storms hit the fan. She needs you to be strong. This isn't about manipulating women. It's about giving women what they need from a man, even if they tell you that's not what they want. How many women will tell you that, man, I wish I could find a good guy. I wish I could find a nice guy. Bullshit. Within 60 miles of her, a radius, there's thousands of nice guys that would love to take her out or do something with her. She don't want them guys. She doesn't want them guys. She's not attracted to those guys. Yeah, she might go out with them once, but I'm just not feeling it. It's just not there. And if you become a good, nice guy in your relationship, here's what you might hear. Well, honey, I love you, but I'm just not in love with you anymore. They want that feeling. They need that competition anxiety. They need to wonder about you. They need the mystery. That's why I say it's easier to be single than it is to stay married. Difficult. That's why I'm single. I've been single for 12 years. And look at some of these guys. Corey Wayne, he's been single a long time. Now, Rollo Tomasi, he's married. But a lot of these guys that are really good with women are single because it's easier to be single. Like with this, what I'm doing now, I have this business here, the YouTube, and I'm a writer. Plus, I have another company that I have employees. It's easier to do because I don't have a woman constantly vying for my time. I have 6 kids too that I take care of, but I can handle them. They're not my woman, so, and they're constantly wanting my time and attention too. But it's different when you have a woman. You got to have one that's behind you 100% and puts you above everything else in her life, including her desire to go out all the time when you need to be working, when you need to be pursuing your goals, when you need to be pursuing your mission, your quest, your purpose here. You got to keep that first. If I back up to where until I was 30, I never had a woman that was really important to me. I mean, they were important, but you know what was first? It was my motorcycles. I was a motorcycle rider. I loved motorcycles. I built motorcycles until I was about 20, got in a lot of trouble in a bar fight. Someone about got killed. It's a big mess. Okay. So then I started boxing, okay? Then when I started boxing, that was the #1 thing. Then I got into triathlons. So all through my teens and my 20s until I was 30, that was the most important thing in my life. And as I said, the girls just chased me. I didn't have to chase girls. Although there were a couple times when some of the boys and I would say we're going out hunting. We never found a girl when we did that. But if I just did my thing like I always did, They'd leave notes on my car. They'd chase me down. They'd come to my house, crawl on my windows. I could tell you story after story. But women weren't my main focus. They were focused on me because I was focused on what I was here to do. And they love that shit. Don't focus so much on women. Focus on what you're here to do. Each of you have a desire within yourself that is just waiting to be brought out. But somehow or another, you've pushed it down, rationalized it away, logicalized it away, said you can't do it now, you're not good enough, blah, 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 whatever. But you can do it. And that's what you got to get a hold of. And then this woman thing will take care of itself. Now, the opportunities will be presented to you. When you start chasing your dreams, you'll run into some women. Now, you got to have a pair of balls big enough to talk to them. And it's really just simple. You don't have to know all this bullshit. Hi, my name's Mark. Let's go for a coffee. Or, hey, meet me here. Let's take a walk right now. Don't ask them for a date. If you can take them then, just sit down. Hey, let's sit down and talk. And go from there. You don't have to worry about what you're going to say. It'll come to you naturally. Don't be afraid. And quit thinking about whether she's going to like you or not. Ask yourself, am I going to like her? Is this woman going to be a good for me? Is she going to support me in my mission, my purpose, my journey? Is she going to be an anchor, or is she going to be a sail? Very important. I've had plenty of anchors. I've had very few sails. Now, I'm not blaming the women. I got involved with them. I made the bad choices, okay? Nobody made me do it. You got to take responsibility. If you're a man, take responsibility. We've been doing that since the beginning of time. That's why we've built this world into what it is. We've built this world into something that is safe enough to where women in first world countries feel like they are strong, independent women and they don't need no man. Well, guess what? We're all interdependent. If I eat McDonald's, I'm dependent on the food guy there to make it for me. I don't eat that crap though. Stay away from it. I go to the grocery store. Guess what? I'm dependent on that store being open. I'm dependent on those people that put the food on the shelves. I'm dependent on the people that bring the gas to the station. So we're all dependent on other people. None of us are completely independent. So there are no strong, independent women, no more than there are any strong, independent men. We all need each other. And that's something, if I really want to bring to life on this channel, is that men and women need to get back together and quit being at odds with each other. And this that I teach you is not so you can get over on women or so that you can get laid and get what you want in a selfish manner. It's so you can understand women and you can have the kind of relationship that you would like to have. Not the kind they show you on Disney, because that's not reality. Think about it. If it were reality, unless reality TV, but that's not reality either, it wouldn't be worth watching. The movies, TV, all that is beyond reality. It's dramatic. It's unreal. And that's why we like to watch it, because we can fantasize about what it would be like if it was like that. But it's not like that. It's kind of like a menage a trois. If you guys have never done that, you know, with a couple of beautiful women, you think that's just great. Okay, I've done it more than once. It's okay. Excuse me. But thinking about doing it and fantasizing about doing it far surpasses the actual act. So think about that. I know you might not believe me, but take it from me. I've experienced it more than once. And I mean, I wouldn't change that I've done it, but it's not that big of a deal. If you're with one woman that you're connected with, that you like to be with, and you're not doled out by any kind of drugs or alcohol, and you're willing to open yourself up, now I'm not talking about being vulnerable, but if you're willing to, I'll say, be open enough that you can actually connect with her on a emotional level, and that's not by spilling your guts out to her, that makes the sex far better than any kind of experience, such as menage a trois or some of the other things people do. There's something about that, I mean, when I was out drinking, when I was sleeping with a girl, before I was done with her, I was already thinking about the other girl I was with. But for years, I've not drank or did drugs, and I meditated, and I've basically worked on myself and got connected with my center. And when I'm with a girl now, that's why I don't choose to just go sleep around like I did when I was in my 20s. When I'm with a girl now, that is such a heightened, I don't know how to explain it really. It's such a heightened euphoric experience. And it's not just about when you get off or when you orgasm. That's okay. But it's the whole process. It's the whole experience I would say the whole experience is orgasmic, to where I really don't want to orgasm because I want to continue to live in that experience of the connection with this person. Maybe that sounds a little esoteric or unreal, but I'm telling you what, it's not unreal. But it's really all about you looking within yourself and getting in touch with yourself, because other people are just a reflection of who you are, and you draw people to you according to how you are. Not so much what you want, but what you are. So that's something to remember. But when you're in your 20s, I understand it. You just want to go out and jump on everything you can. But we all have to learn, figure it out. In your 30s, you'll think differently, 40s, 50s. But, and this stuff about getting old and you can't get it up, that's bullshit. If you take care of yourself and eat right, I'm 62. Every morning, I'm at attention, okay? It's for you guys out there that are older. Now, if you're having problems, I know some people take this TRT, but my recommendation would first be to take care of yourself. Start eating right, exercise, give it a year and see what if you're overweight, lose some weight, get yourself in fit physical condition, do physical hard exercise every day. I read the other day that if you spend 3 days a week in a sauna, that you live like 10 or 20 years longer. Now, I think that's because a lot of people don't work physically hard enough. They're in a climate-controlled environment, so they don't really sweat. And sweating cleans out your pores. Now, if you get in a sauna, that makes you sweat. But if you work hard like I do, a lot of times when I'm out working in the summer, I feel like I'm in a sauna. Or if you work out hard and you sweat a lot, it's good to sweat for a man. A man needs to work. Your body needs to stay in motion. So I've worked hard all my life. I've exercised since I was 20 years old. Plus, I have a physical job, so I have no problems with performing, we'll say. Now, I have had, there was a couple times when I was taking certain medication. I don't take any medications, haven't for years, but if you take certain medications, sometimes you have to take them for a short time. That can cause you problems too. But be cautious about taking any kind of medication to improve something that you may be able to improve just by changing your diet, exercise, sleeping habits, all these things. Think about how you take care of your car. Well, if you put a little bit of effort or half the effort in taking care of yourself that you do your car, your body may perform a lot more efficiently. Something to think about. Well, okay, I haven't lost my voice yet. I got a meeting to go to at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys being here. Next week, we're going to have the lovely Oriana on here. Oriana. I'm not quite sure if that's how you pronounce her name or not. Looking forward to speaking with her. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. We'll probably be downstairs in the studio. So, take care. Once again, thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.